I've just spent the last 12 hours playing Liberty Falls on Black Ops 6 Zombies, and it was totally worth it because I was one of the first people in the entire world to reach round 100 on that map, and it's actually extremely difficult. There's been a lot of people who have been struggling to even get past round 20 or 30. If you came into this game or to watch this video and you thought that it was going to be a piece of cake like Cold War was, you have something mistaken going on. This is actually insanely difficult, and there's people who are even better than me who are asking for a lot of it to get nerfed because it's just too difficult. So how did I actually get to round 100? Let's walk through the whole strategy and I'll tell you guys what to do. So when you start out the game, you're obviously going to want to go through the first couple of rounds, and then when you see the hotel, you don't want to open up the door on the left. You want to go all the way to the right and then start opening up the map that way. The door on the left in spawn, you're going to want to keep closed the entire game. That's just what I did personally. If you want to copy my strategy, I'm not sure. It could develop over time that it might be better to have that open, but personally I like having it closed. And then pretty much as fast as possible, you're going to want to go and just find the mystery box to go get either a ray gun or the jet gun. In my game, I actually didn't use the jet gun at all. I know a lot more people are comfortable with that, but I personally just use the ray gun. I'll actually explain that in a minute because I think it makes a lot of sense, to be quite honest with you. This is a very fast-paced map and a very fast-paced game, and you're going to want to be able to move around very quickly, and the jet gun just isn't super mobile. Obviously, for the next few rounds, you're going to want to open up the map as best as you possibly can. I actually had this weird situation where when I was opening the map, I got a ray gun out of the mystery box, and I also had a gobble gun where it guarantees me a wonder weapon out of the mystery box, so I was going to try to have the ray gun and the jet gun. But when I actually opened up that gobble gun and I used it and opened the mystery box, it gave me another ray gun, which was really honestly kind of funny. It was just one of those things you either are going to laugh at it or you're just going to cry. Liberty Falls is actually kind of easy for, I would say, the first 15 to 20 rounds or so. You shouldn't have that much trouble actually going around the map and hitting the mystery box and getting some perks. I will say that Treyarch actually did change it so that Der Wunderfizz doesn't actually spawn in until round 25. So that's something to actually be aware of, is that you're not just going to be able to walk up to that and buy all of your perks right away. You're going to have to go and find the individual perk machines, and they are a little bit expensive. I think that Quick Revive is something like 3,500 points and PhD Flopper is 4,000. This was also my third game playing on Liberty Falls. In my first game, I think I got to round 51, and then in my second one, I got to round 70. So at this point, I was basically just speedrunning as fast as I possibly could through the map. You are extremely overpowered very early on, especially if you have a ray gun or a jet gun, but then it falls off very quickly. Also, make sure that you're trying to keep as many points as you possibly can, because you're going to want to buy tier 3 armor, which is over on the side of the church. It's the best thing that you could possibly get, and it's going to cost you like 15,000 points on its own. Once you buy it once, you're going to have it forever, and then you don't have to really buy it again, but it is really expensive just to get started off with, and I wouldn't even really recommend buying the tier 2. Just go straight from tier 1 to tier 3, because the tier 2 I think also costs 10,000 points, and it really isn't even worth it because you can just get through the map pretty quickly, honestly, and by the time you have 10,000 points, you might as well just go for 15,000. Where things really start to get interesting on Liberty Falls is about at round 30, because before then, you're just going to be breezing through rounds no problem whatsoever. But once you hit about round 30, you're going to be hit by an absolute onslaught of Mangors constantly. There's going to be so many of them that it's going to make you want your just brain to explode. I swear to God, later in the game, you guys will see it in a minute, but there's probably 25 to 30 Mangors that spawn in every single round on top of the Abomination, and they have a ton of health. That's personally why I recommend the ray gun. The alternate ammo types, or the ammo mods, whatever you want to call them, aren't actually that good, to be quite honest with you, and a lot of the regular weapons you can get from the mystery box aren't also very good either. The jet gun is good for the Mangors, but it isn't great. The ray gun, though, is an explosive, and it has that splash damage, and it probably does the most damage out of any of the guns in the entire game to the Mangors. Because those guys are so prevalent, you're really going to want a ray gun, even if you also do have the jet gun. So the question is, how do you actually deal with that? Well, there's actually a really easy way to do that, and it's because there are 2 traps on the map. And yes, we're going to be running back to Black Ops 1 strategy. We're going to be using traps because you basically can't use the jet gun or the ray gun the entire game. You just won't be able to do it. There's too many zombies. They move too fast, they sprint so quickly, it is absolutely insane. These traps, though, are absolutely amazing, and they actually slow down and kill so many zombies, it's actually insane. The first one is over in the spawn room. You're going to see it literally right when you spawn in. It's just this big block, and when you actually turn it on, there's going to be different little purple, I would say, circles that spawn in, and they're going to be there for about 60 seconds. Anything that walks into that circle is going to die pretty quickly. It's not a case of they can actually hit you while they're in there. No, they are completely stunned and they will all die. Something like the Mangor or the Abomination though, they take chip damage from it and they are slowed down. This is going to be your best opportunity to try and shoot them, is when they are stuck in this trap, and you're just going to want to lay in with them as much as you possibly can with the ray gun, obviously while still staying safe. Once that trap runs out, there's going to be another one right next to Speed Cola on that main alleyway that everyone saw in the COD Next gameplay. There's going to be one right there as well, and it's going to have a circle spawn in at the top of the street and one at the bottom and then one in the middle. When you run over this way, in the middle one, there's always going to be a spawn for the Mangors. There's probably going to be 2 or 3 that spawn in pretty much every single time, and then a little bit above that on the hill, there's going to be an additional Mangor spawn where they can come out of the window, and then at the very top of the hill, there's going to be even more Mangor spawns. The best way to deal with this, honestly, is to just trust in the trap as much as you can and just try to avoid the Mangors as much as possible. You aren't even really dealing with the zombies themselves, honestly. You're dealing with the elite zombies that are spawning in. That's going to be your main concern for the entire game. The one great thing about Black Ops 6 Zombies is that actually it isn't 24 zombies that can be on the map at any given time now. It's closer to 50, so there's going to be a lot of zombies that spawn in, and once you get up into the later rounds like 50, 60, 70, 80, you can kill like 110 to 120 zombies per trap. It's actually kind of insane, I'm not gonna lie to you, and I might make this seem easy while I'm talking about it, but this is actually insanely difficult because there is so many zombies. They spawn in so quickly, and they spawn from literally everywhere they possibly can. Plus, there's so many Mangors that pretty much shoot from halfway across the map. They will shoot their arm cannon and it does a ton of damage to you. A lot of people have been saying that they actually want the Mangors to be nerfed, and honestly I kind of agree with them because they are extremely excessive. The only way to really get around them is just to run away as much as you possibly can, and then when there's no zombies left at the end of the round, you just deal with the Mangors, and then sometimes even then they are a really big pain in the ass to deal with. Then the Abominations, those things are even bigger bullet sponges. The actual beam that they shoot out tracks you. You can't get away from it no matter what you do unless you hide behind something. Once it locks onto you, you can't outrun it. Once again, that's where the ray gun comes in, because if you actually shoot it in the mouth where it has its weak spot, then the ray gun does a pretty good amount of damage. What you're going to want to do though with the Abomination, like I said, just like with the Mangors, is run away as much as you possibly can. But that's not always going to work, so how else can you keep yourself safe? Obviously you have your perks and you have your self revives, but on top of that, if you played Cold War, you'll know that there's the crafting table, and then in there's going to be some score streaks. These are actually going to be super helpful for you. The Hellstorm is actually unlocked really early, especially if you're a super low level. This is going to be really helpful for you. Buy the Hellstorm missile with some of your salvage that you get from killing zombies around the map, and then buy that so when you actually get trapped or you're low health, just hit the down button on the D-pad and it will immediately take you into the Hellstorm missile and you'll be completely invincible until you come out of it. It's honestly really insane and it's such a good strategy. There's also a couple other ones that can do this as well. One of them is the Chopper Gunner. You'll remember that from Cold War as well. The Chopper Gunner isn't as good as I would say as it is in Cold War. It's still very strong, mind you, but it's not as overpowered because the zombies have much more spawn points, so you're not going to be able to kill as many zombies as you did in that game. The absolute most important one that you're going to get though is going to be the Mangor mutation. It's going to glow a little bit purple on the ground. Grab that if you ever see it. It is so unbelievably good that it is insane. You turn into a Mangor who is completely invincible, and then you are in this mode for about 60 seconds. While you're in this mode as well, you do so much damage that's unbelievable. You kill every single zombie in one slash. You can kill all the other Mangors in about 3. You can also take down a full health Abomination in about 5 or 6 swipes. If you were to use this in a closed off room or somewhere that you have a lot of really tight spawns, you could probably go through an entire round in the 60s and 70s just using one of these Mangors. It is hands down the absolute best thing in the game right now. The one thing that sucks is that in zombies you don't actually rank up very quickly, even with double XP. With all of that I played, my round 70, my round 50, and my round 100 game, I'm only level 40, and in order to actually be able to buy the Mangor mutation from the crafting table, you have to be a level 39. So this might be something that you're not going to be able to get consistently, I would say probably for the next couple of days, even if you are grinding, but if you do find them on the ground, which they will actually drop from killing Mangors, if you do find them, hold on to them. They're absolutely insane, and like I said with the other ones, As soon as you hit them, you're going to be completely invincible from the time that you hit the button, even though there's a big long animation. As soon as you hit the button, you'll be invincible until you come out of it. And for as much as I'm making this seem actually easy right now, I promise you it's really not. Anyone who's played Black Ops 6 so far knows that it is genuinely very difficult. And the Mangors, they are just such a big pain in the ass. This was probably one of the hardest round 100s that I've ever done. It's also not a very quick round 100. It took me like 5 hours to do this round 100, which compared to Cold War and something like D Machine where you could do it in just a little over 2 hours, that is a big difference. I'm also still in that game, and there's a lot of stuff that is actually I haven't even been able to get to in this video, like the fact that once you do hit round 100, the game gets even more difficult, and there might be even further stuff on. Who honestly knows, because the furthest round that I know of so far is round 106. So who knows, there might still be some secrets. I'm actually going to upload a bunch of stuff on my second channel and this channel, so if you want to subscribe to either of them, that would be absolutely great, and like the video. It's Black Ops 6 release day. I'm going to leave you guys with a couple minutes of gameplay here just to show you guys what the general high round experience on Liberty Falls is like right now, because it is so insane. The last couple rounds I did get very lucky, but before that, absolutely insane. Thank you for watching. Like I said, like the video, please. It would really be appreciated. And comment, are you guys enjoying Black Ops 6? Are you even going to buy it? If not, then why not? Love you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Feels like it's been through the microwave, but hot damn! Talk about cathartic.
Stuck kid.
Honestly, it's not a bad makeover. I think you look great.